Sorry.
Well, here. I'll stand and talk. My name is Cece Doucette, and I'm actually an Ashland resident. And about 2 years ago, I began to hear that our Wi-Fi might not be safe. So I started doing some research, and I know this is probably near and dear to your hearts because there's a family that has brought a lawsuit against Faith School because a child is becoming ill because of the high industrial strength routers in the buildings. So when I first learned of this, I started the conversation in Ashland. And what our school committee did was look to see what does the science say. There are thousands of studies on this that are showing biological harm. I'll just show you this. If anybody would like to have me forward information later, I'll leave out a notepad and you can give me your email address. But there are literally thousands of studies that have been done. Other countries have way lower allowability on Wi-Fi radiation to their citizens. We haven't done that yet. But Ashland Public Schools was good enough to put best practices into place last year where they, if you look in the very fine print on all of your devices, it says in there, do not put it on your body or you're going to exceed the FCC standards. Now the FCC standards were initiated off of a heat model. So how much radiation does it take to burn the skin of a 6-foot, 200-pound military man? That was the model they used in 1996 based on evidence from the 80s. As it turns out, the harm is not being done at the thermal level, it's being done at the non-thermal level. So we have FCC standards up here. Massive body of science proves the harm is way, way down here. Our country has not responded. And so once we got the best practices in place in our schools, I realized that most of our citizens don't know about this issue, but it's happening just like the glyphosate in our foods, it's happening. And so I took a meter, which I have, and met with Senator Karen Spilka, who's my representative, and Representative Tom Sanacandro. And I measured the amount of radiation coming out of their cell phone devices, and it was off the charts. And so Senator Spilka referred me to her office, and we put together Senate Bill number 1222, an act creating a special commission to study the health impacts of electromagnetic fields. So we're trying to work on it on the legislative mode, but we also need to work on it from the grassroots mode because children are being required to stay in secondhand radiation all day, every day in their schools, in our libraries. Many of them have Wi-Fi in it as well. So we need to become educated and we need to learn. And if anybody would like me to measure their devices on your way out, I would be happy to. So, and I would like to thank Senator Eldridge for being here to listen, you as well, and especially Representative Dykma, who came and testified when this bill came up for hearing this June, or July, right before everybody broke for the summer. So thank you for the work that you've been doing on this. And any education you can gather around, there is so much information out on the internet. Just be sure and look at the source. There's a lot of industry-funded documents out there which slant toward making a profit in a business model. If you find the scientists who are not industry influenced, you will find there's great potential harm being done. Thank you.
Just a couple, just for clarification, from a legislative perspective, we as legislators are ethically not allowed to get involved in anything that is active pending litigation. So any lawsuits are certainly out of our scope. The legislation that was filed would create a group that would legislatively look at the available science and weigh what people were saying and whether further legislative action would need to be taken. So that's where that stands. That bill just had a hearing a couple of weeks ago, and there were some folks that came in from the district to testify on that. So we'll certainly continue to follow that as it moves through the process.
Thank you all for coming, and Senator
Thank you for doing it, Dan.
Thank you.
Yeah.